vision that there are some types out of which closed type and open type are there, and then advantages, disadvantages, and some applications we'll be discussing. So basically, before this, we have discussed about the geothermal energy and the wave energy in detail. And today's turn is about OTEC. So now what is OTEC? Here we are talking of ocean thermal. So where is this thermal coming into picture in the ocean? So what happens is that yesterday when we discussed about the wave, we initially said that due to solar radiations, the uneven heating of the water and this land happens, and due to which winds are formed. So heating is happening of both water bodies and lands, and water body includes oceans, seas, whatever we call them as, all the water bodies. So any water body which holds some water, preferably which is not flowing, okay, but which is contained in a certain volume, is a water body, and that water body will be affected by the solar radiations. So it will get heated up. And as you know, more than 70% of the Earth's surface is covered by these water bodies, preferably the oceans. And the water is getting heated up. But what happens when the water is getting heated is that the solar radiations are coming on the surface water, received by the surface water. That means surface water is getting heated up. But what about the water as we go deeper? So the heat is not reaching up to the more depth. That means as we go deeper and deeper, the temperature of the water falls. So that will be colder, comparatively colder than the surface water. And we know that whenever there is some temperature difference, we can utilize it for energy conversion. Okay, so that is the basic principle behind what we have in our OTEC. Okay, so basically this is a renewable energy, isn't it? Because even if you are going to utilize it, the temperature of the ocean is not going to change even if you go for utilizing it. So it is a renewable. And the heating is not done by any artificial means. So by nature has provided the sun, and the solar radiations are hitting on the surface of the water, and continuously water gets heated up. So many times the water at the surface goes very high, while as we go deeper, the temperature remains very less. And so you can see over here, one example is given. The surface water is 27 degree and the deep water is 5 degrees Celsius. So there is around 22 degrees centigrade degrees change in the temperature of water at the surface and water at the depth. And this can be utilized for generating the electricity. When we talk about the history of this OTEC, basically it started from 1881. A French scientist, Ars Noel, he proposed the idea of tapping the thermal energy from the ocean. The Claude, very famous scientist. So those who are from thermal background might have heard the word Claude. So the Claude in 1881 built up a OTEC system to produce a 22 kilowatt of electricity. 1956, a 3 megawatt OTEC unit was established in Africa. But they found it to be quite expensive. In 79, a 50 kilowatt OTEC power was set up in Nelha. In 80, US department built this one of the famous OTEC 1 project. In 81, Japan also demonstrated a very big project of 100 kilowatt. In 1984, Solar Energy Research Institute developed a comparatively efficient vertical evaporator of a converter to convert the warm seawater into low pressure steam for open cycle power plants. And in March 2013, the Saga University from Japan, they also installed a OTEC power plant in Okinawa, and uh, this was at Kume Islands. So this is about some brief history. Nowadays we have very long list, but not efficiently running presently. Now, what is the principle? The principle is that we are using a Rankine cycle, and basically we will not be going into the discussion of Rankine cycle over here. So basically, what we do is we produce the steam with the help of we have a furnace. In the furnace, we burn the fuel. The fuel energy can be utilized for converting the water, which is in the liquid form, into steam, which is in the gaseous form, in the boilers, and in the steam from the boilers goes to the turbine. In the turbine, the energy in the steam is being utilized for running the turbine, and the turbine rotates, converting that energy into mechanical work. And this particular system basically runs on the cycle which we call as Rankine cycle, and the same cycle we are utilizing. So this the cycle which is utilized in the steam power plant is preferably the Rankine cycle, and that is also used in this vortex, because here the principle remains the same. So the warm water is used to evaporate the working fluid like ammonia. So the change whatever we have here is that here we are not using the warm water directly. Preferably, we can use warm water also directly, the way we used in the geothermal, but preferably we will not be utilizing that. Rather, as we said, just so that since the temperature available, the water available at whatever temperature is comparatively lesser when compared to geothermal, where in the geothermal we will be talking of nearer to 100 degrees. Here we will be talking about nearer to 50 degrees. So around 40, 50, 60, 70, that will be the temperature range, not more than that. Okay, preferably around 50 degrees. So we will not be directly using it for converting the water into seawater into steam. So, but preferably what we will be doing then, we will be converting the utilizing that particular heat in the warm water to convert the ammonia or some hydrocarbon refrigerant into vapor, and that will be utilized for running the turbine. Okay, so this is a preferred, not always. This is a preferred thing. And evaporated fluid, that is the ammonia or hydrocarbon or whichever the refrigerant we are using, expands in a low pressure turbine. So that vapor will be taken to the turbine to produce the electricity. So this is the principle. So let us see how the principle works. So here we have the Rankine cycle. Warm water is used. So you can see the surface water is taken. Okay. And here in this particular loop, in this particular closed loop, we have the ammonia fluid. Okay. Dilute ammonia. So that particular ammonia fluid is being here vaporized. Okay. So the heat from the hot water is used to vaporize. So the boiling temperature of ammonia is lesser comparatively, and therefore it easily gets evaporated. That particular ammonia steam is taken to turbine to run the turbine. So here we have the vapor turbine, and after converting the energy in the vapor to mechanical energy, that is being condensed, and for condensing the ammonia, we have here cold water taken from the depth of the sea. So we have here one hot water source and a cold water source. So here, whenever in thermodynamics, we generally speak like this. Here we have temperature source, high temperature source, low temperature sink, and that produces work. Okay, this is how we define the engine. So here we have a high temperature source, high temperature source, high temperature source, and here we have a low temperature sink, low temperature sink. Okay, so heat is taken from this, and some amount of the heat is being given to the low temperature sink, and the rest of is converted into work. So this is your thermodynamic principle. Okay, so the basic law this is, and which says that unless we give some amount of heat to sink, we are unable to produce the work. So it is not sufficient that you have just a high temperature source, but you also require a low temperature sink. Okay, so unless you give some amount of heat to the low temperature sink, you cannot convert the energy into heat energy into work. Okay, so this W will be this. Suppose this is Q1 and this is Q2, then W will be Q1 minus Q2. So that we have learned in thermodynamics. So this is the point where the Q1 is coming into picture, where Q1 is being supplied by the heat from the warm water. Okay, and here the cold water from the bottom of the sea is being taken, which is at a less temperature. So that becomes your sink. So to that particular sink, we are transferring the heat, Q2 amount of heat. So this is the point where you are giving the Q2 amount of heat. So this is your basic principle of OTEC. Okay, and then it is pumped back again, it is vaporized, it is converted into work, and then it is condensed. So this is how warm water is used to evaporate the working fluid like ammonia or some other refrigerant. Then evaporated fluid expands in a low temperature turbine, which is coupled with the alternator or a generator to produce the electricity. So this is the working principle of a OTEC system. And in general, there are three types of OTEC systems. One is a closed system, or we call it as an Anderson system also. Open system, which we generally just as I mentioned now, we have a Claude system, and we have a hybrid system also. So these are the three main OTEC type of systems. Now let us see one by one what they are. So first one is the closed OTEC cycle. Okay, in a closed OTEC cycle, you can see where the word closed is coming into picture. The word closed is coming into picture from the fact that there is one cycle which is closed, which is not open. And here you can see a gray cycle color indicating a loop. Okay, here this one, it is going like this, and this is a closed cycle. Okay, this is a closed cycle. Okay, and in this particular closed cycle, ammonia is being circulated. Ammonia is being circulated. So you can see over here, we have here the ammonia. Okay, liquid ammonia. So this particular liquid ammonia, see, warm surface water. Here example is taken as a 80 degree and 70 degree. No matter what is the temperature, whether it is 50 degree, 60 degree or 60 degree, 70 degree, whatever is, just to show the difference, we have taken some 80 degree water, okay, from the surface of the sea, okay, and it is utilized for converting the liquid ammonia into vapor, and whatever is coming out is at 70 degrees. So there is a drop of 10 degree temperature, and that is again led back to surface of the sea. Okay, and on the other side, you can see the cold water is taken from the depth of the sea, which is sorry, here it is not degrees, it is Fahrenheit. So that is why the bigger terms are coming over here. So here it is taken 14 degree Fahrenheit, and the water is getting heated up. So the cold water taken from the depth of the sea at a 40 degree Fahrenheit, it is getting heated up to 50 degree. So whatever 10 degree here is utilized for vaporization is being given back to the condensed water, and it is again this 50 Fahrenheit water is being fed back to the bottom of the sea. Okay, so here we have a source, here we have a sink. Okay, and in between we have our engine working or the cycle working. So this particular heat is utilized for converting the liquid ammonia into vapor. So the ammonia vapor is going to the turbine, ammonia turbine. So this is a vapor turbine, and the cold ammonia vapor this saturated vapor is coming, and here it is condensed. So for condensation, we are using the cold water. So the cold water extracts the heat from the vapor, and it is completely converted into liquid. So the liquid ammonia is stored over here. It is pumped back. So the liquid ammonia is pumped back into this reservoir, where it is again converted into vapor at a lower pressure, and the heat from the surface water. So this is your closed cycle. So in the closed cycle, use the fluid with a low boiling point, such as ammonia or any other, if you have, no problem what is there inside this, until all the components, no components are being harmed by whatever fluid you are using inside the system. Okay, and which is able to easily get converted into vapor by using the heat available from the surface of the ocean. Okay, so until that is happening, there is no issue regarding what fluid you can take over here. But generally, ammonia is taken because of its high availability and ease of data related to this. So, and it is a very good refrigerant, very proven refrigerant, and therefore it is generally used. So the working cycle, a closed rotor cycle, employs a thermodynamic fluid such as ammonia. This is contained in a completely closed system. Hot surface water is used to evaporate the ammonia, and the vapor is sent to the turbine, where it runs the turbine, and then it is condensed in the condenser and returned back to again starting point. So in a closed loop, we are using it. So here we have a closed loop, and that is why this particular cycle is called as a closed Otic cycle. Okay, unlike the next cycle is open cycle system. Okay, in this open cycle system, the seawater itself is used to generate heat without any kind of intermediate fluid. We are not using any intermediate fluid like ammonia over here, but directly we are going to use of hot water. So hot water is coming over here. Okay, and here the cold water is coming. So this red one is the hot water, and this cold is the blue one is the cold water coming from the bottom of the sea. So here the hot water is coming, and this hot water is being flashed into vapor. So this flashing we discussed even in the geothermal systems. So that is flashed into vapor, and that vapor, which is generated from flashing the hot seawater, surface seawater. Okay, and that steam will be taken to the turbine to rotate the turbine to produce the electricity by the coupled generator to the turbine, and the whatever the exit vapor is there, that is being condensed, and we have a very fresh water, because whenever it is being converted into vapor, there is no pollutants coming in that, and here we get a very fresh water. So such an open cycle system is generally you also used as source for producing clean water, for clean drinking water in the regions where you don't have the pure drinking water resources. Okay, so here you are getting a byproduct as a clean fresh drinking water, and at the same time you are also getting the electricity. Okay, so what is being done? Heat water is hot water from the sea is taken, it is flashed, and then it is used in the turbine to produce the mechanical power, then generate the electricity over here. The exit steam is being condensed into fresh water, and this particular condensation happens with the cold water coming from the sea. Okay, so this cold water, and that cold water is again sent back to the wherever it is taken. So we have two sources here. Seawater is also taken, and cold water is also taken. But you can see over here, here there is no intermediate fluid like ammonia being used. Rather, we have an open system coming here and then going out. Okay, there is no connection at the end. Unlike here, we had a closed system. Here we had a closed loop. We had a closed loop over here. You can see over this closed loop. Okay, there is no end. So whatever is condensed here is circulated back to the initial point. Okay, so that was how we have the two terms, closed and open. We do have a hybrid cycle also. In hybrid, partially it is open and partially it is closed. That is why we call it as a hybrid. So here the good features of an open system and closed system both are combined together. So hybrid combines the feature of a closed as well as open cycle system. Okay, warm seawater enters a vacuum chamber. So you can see over here, warm seawater is taken over here. It is flashed into steam. It is flashed into steam, and that steam you are taken and it is used to condense the vapor, sorry, ammonia into vapor. So the heat from the steam generated over here is then given to the ammonia. Okay, so you can see the liquid ammonia is being pumped over here, and that liquid ammonia is being getting converted into steam over here, and that steam is going to the turbine. This is your turbine. Okay, and the turbine is coupled with a generator to produce the power, and from the exit we have the steam vapor, ammonia vapor coming out, and that is condensed using the cold water in, cold water out. So this is a condensed, and then so here this part you have a closed loop, and in this particular part you have a open. So that is why we call it as a hybrid, because half part is we have a combination of both open as well as closed system over here. So this part is the closed, wherein we are working with the help of ammonia. Okay, so ammonia liquid is being pumped, it is converted into vapor. That vapor is going to turbine. The turbine is rotated. Turbine rotates the generator. Generator produced electricity. The outlet of the turbine is saturated steam. That steam is being condensed using the cold water from the bottom of the sea, and then completely converting into liquid, and then going back to again this. So here you have a closed loop, and here you have an open loop, and that is why we call it as a hybrid system. Okay, so initially we discussed about closed system, then we discussed about the open system, and here we are discussing about a hybrid system. So warm water enters a vacuum chamber. Here you have a vacuum, so low pressure is utilized here to flash the warm water into steam. Okay, vacuum chamber, and is flashed, evaporated, similar to open cycle. Then steam, this steam is used to vaporize the ammonia over here. Okay, in a closed system. This is your closed system. Vaporized fluid drives the turbine. So vaporized ammonia used to drive the turbine and then produce the electricity. Fluid leaves the condenser. This is your condenser, and is pumped to the evaporator to repeat. So this is pumped to the evaporator. So this is your evaporator where ammonia evaporates. Ammonia gases comes. Turbine runs. Turbine coupled with generator. Generator produce electricity. The outlet of the turbine goes to condenser. Condenser, in the condenser, the ammonia gases are condensed back to liquid ammonia. Liquid ammonia is again pumped to evaporator. Okay, so this is your closed part, and this is your open part, and that is how we call it as a hybrid cycle. So in all, we have three types of OTEC systems. One is open system, closed system, and hybrid system. Okay, in general, these are the following advantages what you have related to OTEC. So the warm surface seawater and cold water from the ocean depth replaces the fossil fuel to produce electricity. So obviously all the renewable generally gives this particular advantage. OTEC plants will produce little or no carbon, so no pollution. OTEC systems can produce fresh water. So this is a very good advantage of OTEC. As we discussed in open cycle, we said that we are able to produce fresh water. Okay, so that is a very good advantage. A lot of fish and other nutritious seafood will be collected in the outlet flow. Okay, so that is again advantage. OTEC can be also used to produce ammonia, hydrogen, ammonia, chlorine, and other chemicals. So they are also used in this because in the process of production of ammonia and all, we require some amount of heat, and so what is being generally done is use the hot water to convert that particular to remove that particular ammonia, or to separate out the ammonia from the in that particular process. So in the separation process of hydrogen, ammonia, chlorine, etc., we generally utilize this particular OTEC energy. Disadvantages: OTEC produce electricity at a present would cost more. So since the temperature difference between the hot water and cold water is very less, the efficiency of the cycle is very less, and correspondingly the amount of energy produced is very less, and therefore the electricity produced is very costlier. No energy company put money in this project because it has only tested a very small scale. At a very small scale only it has been tested. No very big plants has been till date commercially operating. Construction of OTEC plants and laying of pipes are in the coastal area may cause local damage to reefs and nearshore marine system. So the marine system will be disturbed by such a power plants. Application. So just we discussed about some separation of the gases like chlorine, ammonia, etc. So production of hydrogen, it can be used. Desalination products, it can be used. Aquaculture, that means some seaweeds can be grown, or some fishes can be grown. So such projects are there. We call it as aquaculture. So it reduces financial and energy cost of pumping large volume of water from deep ocean. Okay, already we are using it for electricity. So for that, pumping is required, and that pumping can be utilized for aquaculture also. Mineral extractions: the ocean contains 57 traces of elements. So whatever water is being pumped, it has some minerals in it. So it can be, after pumping it, we can utilize and producing some energy from it. We can also use in the mineral extraction process also. So these are some of the applications also along with the electricity generation. So presently we have 3-4 good examples of power plants. So in Georgia we have OTEC power plant. Then in the Tokyo, another company, Tokyo Electric Power Company, built a 120 kilowatt OTEC power plant. And in 2002 in India also, in Tuticorin of Tamil Nadu, we have 1 megawatt OTEC power plant established, and presently they are working. I don't know to what extent efficiently they are producing, but presently they are working as on records. So these are some of the OTEC related systems. What are presently we have some examples of it. So that was about the OTEC. Any
Hello,
doubt?
sir.
Bola?
Can you repeat, sir? Closed system and open system, what the difference?
Difference of closed and open. Okay. Uh, so this is your closed system. Okay. So the word itself is closed. So here you can see a closed loop. Here one loop is there. Here whatever I am showing, I think you are able to see the arrow, my cursor. So that is moving like this. So you can see over here a closed loop. In this particular closed loop, we have the ammonia liquid. Okay, ammonia. So here you can see a pump. This pump is going to pump the ammonia liquid. Okay, and here what is done is, here we have a heat exchanger. In this particular heat exchanger, what is being done? Here, this is a two-way heat exchanger. In one pipe, you will be passing the cold fluid. In another pipe, you will be passing the hot fluid. And heat exchange between these two pipes will take place. So that is how we have two pass type of heat exchangers. So here, the hot water from the surface of the ocean is taken, and it is given here. As I said, 50 degrees. So it is 80 Fahrenheit they have given over here. So that that much warm water, rather instead of saying hot, we will say warm water. So the warm water is going through the one of the pipelines of the heat exchanger, and that heat will be transferred to the ammonia solution. So the ammonia solution get evaporated. Okay, and what is coming out is ammonia vapor. So here we are pumping the ammonia, liquid ammonia. Here we are pumping in the ammonia liquid. Okay, and what is coming out? Ammonia vapor. Okay, and that vapor is going to turbine. So this is an ammonia vapor turbine, which so in this ammonia vapor turbine, the vapor will be made to impinge on the blades of the turbine. The turbine will be rotating, and this particular turbine, when it rotates, that means the energy, thermal energy in the vapor is being converted into the mechanical energy in the turbine, and that mechanical energy is utilized by the generator to produce the electricity over here. Okay, and the exit from the turbine, vapor turbine, is again a saturated vapor, ammonia vapor, which is taken to the condenser, and in the condenser, hot water from the sea depth at a 40 degree Fahrenheit is taken. Okay, so again another heat exchanger over here. So in one passage you will be passing the cold water taken from the surface depth of the ocean, and in the other pipe you will be passing the ammonia vapor. So what happens? The heat from the ammonia vapor will be transferred to the cold water. So the ammonia vapor gets cooled and gets converted into liquid ammonia, and that liquid ammonia will be stored over here, this in storage, and then it will be pumped back to the evaporator. So you have a closed system over here. Closed system म्हणजे आपल्याला ती ओपन नाहीये कुठं, ती कंटिन्युअसली तेच फ्लुइड आपल्याला रिसर्क्युलेट परत 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 करत राहते, म्हणून त्याला आपण क्लोज सिस्टम असं म्हणतो. अनलाइक in a open cycle, you can see over here hot water is coming, okay, and it is flashed into steam. That steam is used in the turbine, okay, and the steam is then condensed to water, and water is all taken out. So here we get the hot water coming in, and here at some other temperature hot water will be going out, but at the lower temperature. Okay, so here hot water coming in, hot water going out, so this is not connected. That is why we call it as a open. So here this is an open cycle. There it was a closed cycle because the ammonia will be circulated in a one particular loop again and again. Here there is nothing like that. So and here this is flashed out using a vacuum. So we discussed about low pressure. Okay, so when the pressure decreases over here, the water is getting flashed into steam. That steam is being utilized, and here what is done? Here cold water from the sea is taken to sink. So here you have a source of hot water and a sink of a cold water. Okay, so here this particular chamber is transferring the heat from the steam to the cold water, and that cold water will be again going out. Okay, so here there is another open loop. Here cold water is coming in, it is heated up, and it is again going back. And in the same, we are mixing this also, hot water from this loop also, because some amount is being converted into vapor, and remaining fluid is mixed over here, and it is discharged into the sea. So here we have an open loop, here we have a one open loop. Okay, so we call it as an open cycle. I hope I have cleared the difference between the open and the closed cycle. Have I cleared?
Yes, sir.
Okay. May I then proceed? May I proceed?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the next term is tidal energy. So in the tidal energy power plants, we will be talking about the tides. What is tides? In Marathi, we call it as a Bharti or Ahuti. So in the sea, due to the gravitational force, preferably by moon. Okay, preferably by moon, not only moon, but some gravitational force are exerted by some the bodies beyond the earth. Okay, outside the earth, and when this particular gravitational force is exerted, that force results in the motion of the water. Okay, so periodically the water at the in the sea gets lifted up at the shores, okay, and goes down at shores at some time, and that is what you call as a low tide and high tide. So I think the concept of low tide and high tide you have learned in your lower classes. Okay, so we will be discussing about the tides, type of tides, main types of tidal power plant main components, then types and advantages and disadvantages of tidal. So the tidal world, preferably it is a hydropower, okay, which converts the energy in the tides into useful power, that is electricity. Okay, so here tides are waves caused due to gravitational pull of sun or moon. So due to sun or moon, when it attracts it exerts the attractive force on the surface of the earth. Since on the surface of the earth we have water is getting pulled. Ocean tides are periodic rise and fall of the ocean water level, which occurs twice in a lunar day. Lunar day means day produced due to, that is with respect to moon. That is what we call as a lunar day. With respect to sun, if you are talking of, then it is called as a solar day. So in one lunar day, we have 2 times rise and 2 times fall of the ocean water, and that is what you call as tides. During one lunar day, the ocean water level rises twice and falls twice. So this is your high tide, where you can see the water has reached over here, while in a low tide the water in the shore goes back, flows deeper. Okay, and during high tide more water flows towards the ocean. So at the seashore the water level rises during the high tide, and at the seashore the water level goes down during the low tide. The time interval between 2 consecutive low tide and high tide is around 6 hours. So 6 4s are 24. That is how we have 4 times variation taking place. That is 2 high tides and 2 low tides. So around 6.2 hours. So basically the hour what we are talking of is with respect to solar. That is why this particular decimal is coming over here. Then the tidal range is the difference between consecutive high tide and a low tide, and that is around 6.2. During high tide, the water flows here in a tidal power plant. It flows into dam during the high tide, and during low tide, it flows out from the dam. And this particular motion can be utilized into the utilized for rotating the turbine. So that is the concept what is used in the tidal energy. So what is being done? We construct a dam. During high tide, we will be allowing the water to get stored in a dam, and during low tide, we will be allowing the water to flow out of the dam. And this particular motion can be utilized for producing the energy. Although not yet widely used, the tidal power plants has a potential for future electricity generation, and it is predictable, well predictable. So the one important, very important factor is that आपल्याला माहित असतंय, we can calculate पुढच्या 10 वर्षानंतर अमुक दिवशी किती टाइड किती मोठी असेल हे आपल्याला कॅल्क्युलेट करता येतं. आधी वेव्स सारखं नाहीये. वेव्स कसं आहे की त्या वेळेला जी विंड एनर्जी असणार आहे त्या बेसिसवरती आपल्याला म्हणजे त्यावेळेला काय प्रेशर डिफरन्स तयार होईल त्या बेसिसवरती किती मोठ्या लाटा येतील हे आपण डिपेंड असतं. परंतु टाईडचं तसं नाहीये. टाईडला आपल्याला माहिती आहे कधी भरती असणार आहे, कधी आवटे असणार आहे, किती वेळ असणार आहे, किती उंची पाणी येणार आहे, या सगळ्या गोष्टी आपल्याला व्यवस्थित कॅल्क्युलेट करता येतात. सो इट इज व्हेरी मच प्रेडिक्टेबल. सो दॅट इज व्हेरी गुड पॉइंट ऑफ अ टायडल पॉवर प्लांट. सो व्हॉट इज बिंग डन? इथं आपल्याला एक डॅम क्रिएट केलंय. ओके, this tidal electricity generation work as the tides come in and again when it goes out. So here this is your shore, okay, and this is your sea part. Okay, this is your shore, म्हणजे समुद्र किनारा हा भाग आहे आणि इकडे समुद्र आहे. So what is being done? High tide मध्ये पाणी वरती आलं, बरोबर, पातळी वाढली, त्यावेळेला काय केलं आपण? We allow the water to flow here into this, and here we have a turbine. Okay, so since the water is flowing in, the turbine will be rotated, and the turbine will generate. Rotation of the turbine can be coupled. Turbine can be coupled to a generator to produce the electricity. Now, what happens after 6 hours? The water level in this side will goes down. Okay, so when the water goes down, by the time here there will be sufficient amount of water stored. आता पाणी उलट्या दिशेने फ्लो व्हायला चालू आहे. So the water starts moving in this direction now. And again, the same turbine generator set can be now utilized for producing the electricity when it is flowing back like this. Okay, so that is where you have this particular. So during low tide this is happening, during high tide this is happening. Okay, this is the basic principle of tidal energy system. So if it is a dam, it is like this. If it is a lagoon, means artificially created systems are there, we call it as a lagoon. So if it is a lagoon, then it can see over here, during high tide what is happening, here the water flow, this is your seaside. Okay, this is your seaside and the water is flowing in. Okay, water is flowing in, and during low tide this is your seaside, and here now sufficient height of water has been stored. During low tide water will be flowing through the turbine out. Okay, in case of lagoon what is happening here, during high tide water from outside is flowing inside this lagoon. Okay, through this particular passage over here, and during low tide water from inside will be flowing out here through this particular passage. Okay, so here depends on that is, here you can see inflow is happening from here and outflow is happening from here. Okay, so either it can be a lagoon or it can be a barrage. These are the technological term used here. The dam whatever is constructed is called as a barrage. इथं बघा, इथं ही सगळं नॅचरल रॉक आहे समुद्र किनाऱ्यावर असलेलं, आणि त्याच्यामध्ये एक भिंत आपण बांधली, आपण त्याला बॅरेज असं म्हणतो. इथं काय केलंय, इथं पूर्ण आपल्या विहिरीसारखं कन्स्ट्रक्शन बांधलंय पाण्याच्या मध्ये, आणि त्याला आपण काय म्हणतो, लगून म्हणतो. दिस विल बी व्हेरी ह्यूज डायमीटर. So the diameter will be very more, okay, and that we will be calling as a lagoon. So such a system, or we can use a barrage. So either a barrage or a lagoon can be used for producing the electricity. Current sites of the tidal. So the first and the largest tidal barrage power plant constructed in 1601 to 67 is in the Rance river. Okay, म्हणजे रिव्हर जिथं समुद्राला मिळते त्या ठिकाणी असतं. जनरली कंटेन्स 24 रिव्हर्सेबल 10 मेगावॅट बल्ब टाइप ऑफ टर्बाइन्स. ओके, वेगळ्या वेगळ्या टाइपचे मिनी टर्बाइन्स मध्ये वेगवेगळे प्रकार आहेत, आणि त्यातला एक प्रकार आहे बल्ब टर्बाइन. तर 10 मेगावॅट कॅपॅसिटीचे बल्ब टर्बाइन्स वापरलेत, जनरेटिंग कॅपॅसिटी ऑफ 240 मेगावॅट्स नेट पॉवर, and output is 480 gigawatt per year. Okay, this is in Rance river. The two-way generation system is adopted and pumped storage is used. Okay, so Annapolis tidal generation facility of Bay of Fundy, Canada. Okay, this was in France, this is in Canada. So this was constructed from 81 to 84 in 3 years. So in Canada, and this is in the France. Generating capacity is 20 megawatt. Okay, with a net output of 30 gigawatt per hour. Further development is being done for Bay of Fundy. So here the further development is also done. In India also, in Gujarat we have some tidal power plants being constructed. Okay, so as we discussed now, the dam or the barrage, whatever wall we construct is what we call as a barrage. So mainly the three parts are, one is the dam or barrage. So the function of the dam is to form a barrier between the sea and the basin which holds the water. म्हणजे जिथं आपल्याला स्टोअर करायचं आहे आणि समुद्र, ह्याच्यामध्ये जे एक आपण पार्टिशन तयार करतोय आणि त्याला आपण डॅम किंवा बॅरेज असं म्हणतोय. Tidal barrage is a dam-like constructor used to capture the energy of the mass of water moving in and out from the bay or river due to tidal forces. दुसरी कॉम्पोनेंट आहे स्लुईस गेट. कारण आपल्याला हा गेट्स असते, तर जसं आपण डॅम मधनं पाणी सोडतो त्यावेळेला आपण म्हटलं बघा, दरवाजे एवढ्या उचलले गेले, तर सो दॅट इज द गेट्स. ओके, दे विल बी लिफ्टेड अप टू अलाउ द वॉटर टू फ्लो. सो दीज आर व्हॉट यू कॉल एज स्लुईस गेट्स. द स्लुईस वेज आर gate controller device. They are employed to fill the basin during the high tide and empty during the low tide. म्हणजे ते ओपन करून हाय टाइडच्या वेळेला आपल्याला डॅम भरण्यासाठी आपण ओपन करतोय, आणि लो टाइडच्या वेळेला माघारी पाणी फ्लो होण्यासाठी आपण ते ओपन करतो. Sluice gates are left open during high tide and closed during the low tide to create a water level differential. Then powerhouse म्हणजे नंतर आपल्याला टर्बाईन वगैरे लागतं आणि त्या सिस्टमला आपण पॉवर हाऊस असं म्हणतो. तर मेन कॉम्पोनंट्स काय काय आहेत, एक बॅरेज किंवा ज्याला डॅम असं म्हणतो, ती स्लुईस गेट आणि पॉवर हाऊस, हे 3 कॉम्पोनंट्स आहेत. हे पॉवर हाऊस म्हणजे काय, जिथं टर्बाईन बसवलंय आणि त्या टर्बाईनला जनरेटर कपल केलाय आणि पॉवर तयार करते, त्याला आपण पॉवर हाऊस असं म्हणतो. 2 प्रकारचे टायडल पॉवर प्लांट आहेत, एक सिंगल बेसन आणि एक डबल बेसन. सो दीज आर द 2 टाइप ऑफ tidal power plants. One is a single basin and the second one is a double basin. The single basin is like this. So you can see over here, there is only one basin, and here it is C, and here this is your basin. Okay, this is where you are going to store the water, and this is your dam, barrage, whatever you call it as. Okay, and here is your turbine generator set. Okay, so when it is high tide, water will be flowing like this, and this will rotate the turbine, and the turbine will rotate the generator, and generator will produce the electricity. Okay, as the water is flowing here. नंतर काय होणार, एक अशी वेळ येईल की इथलं वॉटर आणि इथलं वॉटर एकसारखं होईल, त्यावेळेला हे बंद करून टाकायचं. नंतर काय होईल, इथले पाणी खाली जाईल. सो ड्युरिंग लो टाईड दिस वॉटर गोज डाऊन. त्यावेळेला इथलं वॉटर ऑलरेडी वाढलेलं असतं, बरोबर, मागच. त्यावेळेला इथं वॉटर जास्त होतं, इथं कमी आहे आता, कारण इथली लेवल खाली गेली. सो वॉटर कॅन बी allowed to go out, flow out in this manner, and again we can produce the electricity. So such an arrangement is called as a single basin type of tidal power plant. इथं एकच बेसिन वापरलंय किंवा एकच डॅम टाइप अरेंजमेंट वापरलंय, म्हणून त्याला आपण सिंगल बेसिन टाइप ऑफ अरेंजमेंट म्हणतो. ही जी आहे हे हाय टाईडच्या वेळेला, आणि ही असं आहे ते अरेंजमेंट लो टाईडच्या वेळेला. हाय टाईडच्या वेळेला पण आपण इलेक्ट्रिसिटी जनरेट करतोय, लो टाईडच्या वेळेला पण आपण इलेक्ट्रिसिटी जनरेट करू शकतो. नॉट नेसेसरी की आपण सगळ्या डॅम मध्ये किंवा सगळ्या टायडल पॉवर प्लांट मध्ये आपण असं वापरू शकतो, असं काही नाहीये. ओके, काय काय वेळेला फक्त इथंच आपण प्रोड्यूस करतो, इथं फक्त आपण स्टोअर करतो, असं पण असू शकतं, बरोबर. सो इट डिपेंड्स ऑन हाऊ वी हॅव डिझाईन द पॉवर प्लांट. ओके, सो दॅट इज अबाउट सिंगल बेसिन. सो सिंगल बेसिन सिस्टम कॅन बी जनरेट पॉवर ओनली इंटरमिटेंटली, बरोबर. कारण का, ज्या वेळेला ह्याला काय लागतं, हेड लागतंय. आता इथं हेड किती आहे, इथं इथं एवढा डिफरन्स आहे. आता थोड्या वेळानं ही कमी कमी होत जाईल आणि ही वाढत वाढत जाईल. आता ही दोन्ही एकत्र झालं, एकसारखं झालं किंवा जवळजवळ एकसारखं झालं, तर त्यावेळेला हेड नसल्यामुळे आपल्याला इलेक्ट्रिसिटी तयार करता येत नाही. मग आपल्याला हे बंद करावं लागतं. मग आपल्याला कशाची वाट बघायची, नंतर हे पाणी खाली जायची, आहोटी यायची, बरोबर. आणि ही काय होती, भरती होती. आहोटीमध्ये काय होतंय, पाणी खाली जातंय. आता पाणी खाली झाल्यानंतर इथं हेड तयार झाला, आणि हा हेड युटिलाइज करताना आपल्याला वॉटर इकडे अलाव करतो. मग परत हे पाणी खाली 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 येणार, आणि या लेवलला परत आलं की आपल्याला हे पण परत बंद करावं लागतं. सो हिअर वी आर एबल टू यूज इंटरमिटेंटली. दॅट इज द मिनिंग, इंटरमिटेंटली. आपल्याला थोड्या वेळ चालू ठेवावं लागते, परत थोड्या वेळ बंद ठेवावं लागते, परत चालू ठेवावं लागते, परत थोड्या वेळ बंद ठेवावं लागतं, असं करत जावं लागतं. ओके, दिस इज सिम्पलेस्ट टाइप. हे सिम्पल असतं अरेंजमेंट. सिंगल बेसिन स्कीम इज ओनली वन बेसिन, एकच बेसिन आपण वापरतो. आणि बेसिन इज सेपरेटेड बाय अ डॅम, म्हणजे सीच्या आणि बेसिनच्या मध्ये एक डॅम असतं. स्लुईस गेट्स आर ओपन टू फिल अँड एम्प्टी. द टर्बाइन जनरेटर युनिट इज माउंटेड विदिन द डक्ट इनसाइड द बॅरेज. बॅरेज किंवा डॅमच्या आतमध्येच आपल्याला टर्बाइन किंवा पॉवर हाऊस आपण आतमध्येच असतं. दिस स्कीम हॅज वन बॅरेज अँड वन वॉटर स्टोरेज बेसिन, वन वे सिस्टम. द इनकमिंग टाइड इज अलाउड टू फिल द बेसिन थ्रू स्लुईस वेज ड्युरिंग द टाइड and generate electricity when it is going out. This is a next type, which we call as a double basin type of system. Double basin type of system मध्ये काय बघा, दोन बेसिन आहेत, एक ए बेसिन ए आणि बेसिन बी. ओके, आणि ह्या दोन्ही बेसिनच्या मध्ये आपल्याला आता टर्बाइन पॉवर हाऊस आहे. ओके, टर्बाइन जनरेटर अरेंजमेंट आहे किंवा पॉवर हाऊस आहे ते इथं आहे. सो व्हॉट वी विल डू हिअर, ड्युरिंग हाय टाइड वी विल बी फिलिंग दिस विथ वॉटर. Okay, and during low tide we will be allowing the water to flow from here to here and then go to back like this. Okay, म्हणजे ह्या दोन्ही बेसिन मध्ये, बेसिन ए आणि बेसिन बी मध्ये जोपर्यंत आपल्याला पोटेन्शियल डिफरन्स आहे, वॉटर लेवल मध्ये डिफरन्स आहे, तोपर्यंत आपण इथं इलेक्ट्रिसिटी जनरेट करू शकतो. म्हणजे हे बेसिन्स जेवढे मोठे असतील तेवढं आपण इथं जास्त पॉवर तयार करू शकतो. आपल्याला आता इथं आहोटी आहे का भरती आहे ह्याच्यापेक्षा इथं किती वॉटर स्टोअर केलंय आणि इथं किती आहे त्याच्यावरती अवलंबून आहे. मग आपण काय करणार, हाय टाईड मध्ये हे भरून घेणार आणि लो टाईड मध्ये इथं रिकाम करून घेणार. बरोबर. मग ह्याची कॅपॅसिटी जर मोठी असेल तर लो टाईड मध्ये रिकामं केल्यानंतर सुद्धा ह्याची पातळी खालीच राहू शकते. आणि ह्याची जर कॅपॅसिटी खूप मोठी असेल तर हाय टाईड मध्ये भरल्यानंतर परत हाय टाईड संपल्यानंतर सुद्धा ह्याची पातळी वरती असू शकते, कारण ह्याची कॅपॅसिटी खूप मोठी आहे आणि इथून आपण त्या मानानं खूप कमी प्रमाणात पाणी अलाव करतो. Okay, so that is the advantage over here. So we have here during high tide, we store the water in the upper basin, and during low tide we allow the water to flow out through the lower basin B. In a double basin scheme, there are two basins on the landward side with a powerhouse located in interconnecting way between the two basins. दोन्ही बेसिनच्या मध्ये powerhouse आहे. One is called upper basin and another is called as a lower basin. आणि ह्या दोन्ही बेसिन मध्ये हेडचा डिफरन्स आहे. इलेक्ट्रिसिटी कॅन बी जनरेटेड कंटिन्युअसली ऑल्दो ॲट अ व्हेरिएबल रेट. म्हणजे इथं एकसारखे आपल्याला इलेक्ट्रिसिटी जनरेशन मिळू शकते. फक्त काय थोडस कधी कधी होतं, जसं जसं समजा आता इथली भरती संपली म्हणजे इथली मॅक्झिमम लेवल एकदा पोहोचली की त्याच्यानंतर तिथं वर वाढत नाहीये, बरोबर. परंतु जोपर्यंत आहोटी येत नाही तोपर्यंत ह्यातलं पाणी आपण इकडे बाहेर सोडू शकत नाही. त्यामुळे काय होणार, इथलं जसं आपण इकडचं पाणी इकडे सोडत जाऊ तसं इथलं पाणी पातळी वाढत वाढत जाते. म्हणजे ह्या ज्या दोन्ही मधलं हेडचा आहे तो कमी कमी होत जातो. म्हणजे जरी आपल्याला कंटिन्युअस पॉवर मिळते तरी सुद्धा व्हेरिएबल पॉवर आहे. म्हणजे एकसारखी पॉवर, म्हणजे समजा आता 2 वॅट पॉवर तयार होत असेल तर अजून एक तासानं 2 वॅटच होईल असं नाहीये. ते 1.5 वॅट असेल किंवा 1 वॅट असेल. परंतु कंटिन्युअसली आपल्याला ही बेसिनची साईज मोठी करून आपण ह्याला कंटिन्युअसली 24 आवर्स रन करू शकतो. सिंगल बेसन मध्ये काय होत होतं, एकदा वरती संपली की नंतर आपल्याला थोड्या वेळ आपण चालू ठेवायचं, बरोबर. नंतर परत थोड्या वेळ बंद ठेवायचं, परत चालू ठेवायचं, परत बंद ठेवायचं, असं करावं लागत होतं. तसं इथं करावं लागत नाहीये. एकदा ही भरून घ्यायचं, भरलं की कंटिन्युअसली इथून पाणी इकडे येऊ द्यायचं, बरोबर. आणि इथं जसं जसं भरत जाईल इथं आउट आले की इथं पाणी बाहेर सोडून द्यायचं, रिकामं करून टाकायचं. इथं रिकामं जोपर्यंत आहे तोपर्यंत इकडून पाणी इकडे येत राहिलं तरी चालतंय. मग ही तुम्ही इथं किती जास्तीत जास्त स्टोअर करताय तिकडे जास्तीत जास्त इकडे येऊ द्यायचं, काय अडचण येत नाही. आणि इथं जेवढं येतंय तेवढं सगळं तुम्ही रिकामं करून टाकायचं आहोटीच्या वेळेला. So continuously 24 hours we can run this particular type turbine. Only thing is it is a variable rate, बरोबर, एकसारखं राहत नाही. In this system the turbines are located in between two adjacent basins. So these were the two types of tidal power plant: single basin type of tidal power plant and double basin type of turbine power plant. Okay. So the advantages, moving to the advantages, inexhaustible, कधीच संपणार नाहीये. एन्व्हायरमेंट फ्रेंडली, यात काय पोल्युशनचा काय प्रश्न येत नाहीये. 70% ऑफ द अर्थ इज कवर्ड बाय वॉटर. देयर इज नो, म्हणजे किती पाणी वापराल हे तुमच्या लोकेशनवरती आणि तुमच्या कॅपॅसिटीवरती अवलंबून आहे. एफिशियन्सी ऑफ द टायडल पॉवर इज फार ग्रेट ॲज कम्पेअर्ड टू कोल, सोलार, विंड एक्सेट्रा. म्हणजे याच्या कम्पॅरिझन मध्ये टायडल कॅपॅसिटी खूप जास्त आहे. आणि आपल्याला माहिती आहे प्रत्येक 6 तासाला पाणी वरती येणार आहे. म्हणजे आता आपण एकदा भरून घेतलं की परत आणखी 6 तासाला परत आणखी ती वरती येणार आपल्याला माहितच आहे. म्हणजे आपल्याकडे कंटिन्युअस ती स्टोर आपल्याला ती करून आपल्याला वापरायची कॅपॅसिटी आपल्याला कंटिन्युअस डेव्हलप करता येते. टायडल एनर्जी डझंट रिक्वायर एनी काइंड ऑफ फ्युअल. काही फ्युअलची गरज नाहीये. इथं लाईफचा काय प्रश्न नाहीये. जोपर्यंत आपल्याला भरती येत राहते, आणि भरती तर कायम येत राहणार, जोपर्यंत चंद्र पृथ्वीच्या भरती फिरत राहतोय तोपर्यंत आपल्याला भरती आवटे चालूच राहणार आहे. म्हणजे देयर इज नो एंड फॉर दॅट. द लार्ज डेन्सिटी ऑफ वॉटर, ऑलमोस्ट 1000 times greater than air, results in a very large amount of energy to get out of tidal currents, even if it is at low speed. So we have a very good amount of efficiency compared to wind energy. That is what it means in short. Disadvantage: cost of construction of tidal power plant is high. कारण मोठे मोठे बेसिन्स बांधावे लागतात, बरोबर. समजा एक बेसिन आहे, अप्पर बेसिन, लोअर बेसिन, लय मोठे मोठे बेसिन, त्याच्यामध्ये मोठा पॉवर प्लांट. ओके. सो द इनिशियल कॉस्ट इज व्हेरी हाय. देर आर व्हेरी फ्यू आयडियल लोकेशन्स व्यवस्थित आपल्याला मिळालं पाहिजे. कारण एका बाजूला आपल्याला भरायचं आहे म्हटल्यानंतर तिथं कसं कन्स्ट्रक्शन पाहिजे, तिथं काय बेसिन्स पाहिजे, तिथं हाईट किती पाहिजे, तिथं डेप्थ किती पाहिजे, बरोबर, तिथं काय बांधकाम करायला पाहिजे, बेसिन लोअर बेसिन कसं असलं पाहिजे, तिथून त्याचा किती कॅपॅसिटी पाहिजे वगैरे वगैरे, ह्या सगळ्या गोष्टी आयडियल लोकेशन आहे का आपल्याकडं. सो दॅट बिकम्स व्हेरी इम्पॉर्टंट फॅक्टर. इंटेन्सिटी ऑफ सी वेव्स इज अनप्रेडिक्टेबल अँड देअर कॅन बी डॅमेज टू पॉवर जनरेशन सिस्टम. समुद्र किनारा असल्यामुळं आणि समुद्र किनाऱ्यावरतीच आपण ही डॅम बांधतोय, बरोबर, आणि त्याच्यामधून आपण पाणी फ्लोची गोष्टी करतोय. परंतु दुसरा एक फॅक्टर असा आहे की समुद्रामध्ये लाटा पण येत राहतात आणि त्या लाटा कंटिन्युअसली येऊन त्या बॅरेजवरती किंवा डॅम वरती आढळत असतात. So the dam has to be constructed such that it has to bear all the energy from the waves also. That is another problem what the tidal energy faces. Influence aquatic life, marine life ला आपण ते इफेक्ट करतंय. कुठलाही पॉवर प्लांट आपण बसवला की ते मरीन लाईफला, ओशन वरती बसवला की ते मरीन लाईफला जनरली इफेक्ट करतं. ऍक्च्युअल जनरेशन इज for a short period of time. The tides only happen twice a day, so electricity can be produced ओनली फॉर दॅट टाइम. तर थोडंसं आपल्याला जसं म्हटलं की ज्या वेळेला जास्तीत जास्त हाईट डिफरन्स आहे दोन्ही बेसिन मध्ये, त्यावेळेला मॅक्झिमम इलेक्ट्रिसिटी तयार होते. जसं जसं हाईट डिफरन्स कमी कमी होत जाते त्यातनं थोडीशी अमाऊंट ऑफ इलेक्ट्रिसिटी तयार होऊ शकते. युजली द प्लेसेस वेअर टायडल एनर्जी इज प्रोड्युस्ड आर फार अवे फ्रॉम द प्लेस वेअर इट इज कन्झ्युम्ड. दिस ट्रान्समिशन इज एक्सपेन्सिव्ह. म्हणजे हे कुठंतरी समुद्र किनाऱ्याला अशा लोकेशनला असतं की जिथं जनरली मोठ्या सिटीज वगैरे नसतात, बरोबर, त्यामुळं परत तिथून ट्रान्समिशन करावं लागते. सो दॅट वॉज अबाउट द tidal energy. So in short, tidal energy also have a vast potential, and we have two types of tidal power systems, that is single basin type of arrangement and a double basin type of arrangement. Okay. In single basin type of arrangement we have intermittent power generation. Here in double basin type of arrangement we have continuous but variable type of power generation. So that was about the tidal energy. Over to students for doubts. Any doubt? Yes, anybody having any doubt you can ask. मला वाटतंय कोणाला काही डाऊट असेल तर तुम्ही विचारू शकता. Any doubt, madam?
Okay, sir. No, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks a lot. So I think I have covered the chapter. So this is my last lecture with respect to guest lecture. Okay. I have covered all the parts, that is tidal, wave, geothermal, and VOTEC, all the types of energy with respect to ocean as I have covered. Okay. So thanks a lot, madam, for inviting me and allowing me to give a lecture on this particular class. And thanks all the students for patiently listening to my boring lectures. So thanks a lot. Thanks everybody once again. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.